And for more on today's Game 2 of the Warriors-Thunder series, kasama natin muli ang basketball analyst na si Adrian Dia. Aids, welcome back to the Score.
Great to be back.
Great game today. Great bounce-back game para sa Warriors. If you're a Warriors fan, I'm sure tuwang-tuwa sila with a big statement win. What did you expect from them? I mean, they had a Game 1 loss, the first time to lose a Game 1 in a series in quite some time. So medyo narattle sila doon, parang nanganganib sila.
What was interesting is, nung off day nila kahapon, they asked Draymond Green about it, and he said, this will be fun. So yun yung word pa niya giving.
So wala siyang kaba.
Wala siyang kaba.
Yeah.
Sabi niya, this is new territory nga for them, but because nga it's new territory, it will be fun daw. And we saw that happening. The Warriors had a lot of fun in this game.
And Draymond Green had a lot of fun and a lot of trash talking too. I mean, let's start with him. Nabanggit mo na si Draymond. That's an interesting point to start with. He promised to be more aggressive. He promised to have no mercy against the big guys who had their way in Game 1. Sila Adams, Ibaka, and Cantor did pretty well in scoring and rebounding. But today, sinisindak sila ni Draymond Green.
And what's interesting is kasi in Game 1, some people were saying, myself included, na he was doing too much. He had like 20 shot attempts, and usually hindi yun normal para sa kanya. But in this game, you know, he only had about 11 shots. He hit 2 threes. He didn't make any in Game 1, and he was more in control of the situation. You know, ignoring the little trash talking sessions he was having.
And he can control himself.
And he can control himself now,
trash talk niya.
And that's an impressive thing for him na, because usually kung player ka, gagana super turbocharged, but he kept himself under wraps, and that really helped the entire team.
Which was pretty cool. So in the first quarter pa lang, 11 and 8 respectively si Steph and Clay. That was a big boost for them. They led by 7, but more than that, they had 19 points combined. How big was it that they started off well?
Definitely, because it keeps them going throughout the game, na engaged na kaagad sila. When you compare it to how they sort of sputtered out in Game 1, in the fourth quarter, they only made 1 shot combined.
That's right.
So getting them out to a good start was very important for Coach Steve Kerr, I think.
We saw Curry explode in the third quarter in a span of 2 minutes or something, 16 points. That was just out of this world. But how scary is that for the Thunder, knowing that at any given point, here's this guy, this back-to-back MVP, who can do this to you guys?
Right. Para siyang Jaws, the movie, na the shark is just swimming in the water. Because in the second quarter, hindi siya nag-score. He was very quiet, actually. And so, they were actually running him as a decoy, and it worked out because in the end of the second quarter, nag 8-0 run ng Warriors to go up to the half with a big lead. And then, so when you go to the third quarter, siguro naisip ng Thunder na, okay, maybe Curry's not 100%, so they're gonna keep running him off as a decoy. And that little slip is, yun lang yung kailangan ni Stephen Curry. And we saw him explode for a personal 15-2 run, if I'm not mistaken. So, having the MVP explode like that, that's really how the Warriors work now. If all things fail, let's give it to Curry, let's see what he can do. And he delivered.
And it's not like they just give it to him an ISO ball. They're looking for him. They set him up with screens, they make him run all these screens. So it's still a team effort but that they get him his points. Okay, let's flip to the other side. What happened to OKC? Were they complacent that, okay, we got 1, that's all we need to get, really? I mean, realistically, when you go on the road,
that's what you want.
You target 1. So, may nakita ka bang lack of aggression, lack of focus, lalo na mula kila Durant and Westbrook?
The Warriors did one interesting thing. In Game 1, they were basically doing the Tony Allen treatment on Andre Robertson na, okay, nandyan ka, we won't guard you because you're a bad shooter. In Game 2, so alam na ng Thunder na to, okay, they're not gonna guard Robertson that much. We're not gonna play him as much. So when they took him out naman, they started doing that to Serge Ibaka. And this season, under Coach Billy Donovan, Serge Ibaka's numbers have been drastically down. Hindi siya nakakatira that much. So they gave him a lot of shot opportunities. He can't drive. Tira lang siya ng tira, and he only made 1 field goal the entire game. So basically,
he was off. I mean, he can shoot very better.
So yun yung difference. Now, before they said, we'll take out Robertson. Ayun, wala ka nang sagot doon. This game, the Warriors found an answer to that situation. They marginalized another Thunder player, and that really got them going.
Yun yung gamble nila today. They gambled on Ibaka. Now, another thing, Westbrook wasn't the same Westbrook that he was in game number 1. How did they kind of stifle him today? Or was it just may halong malas na lang si Westbrook today?
May halong malas, and he didn't seem as aggressive as he usually was. But one thing I did notice, like after game 1, I was saying they would try to put Klay Thompson on him. At ginawa nga nila yun, and I think after the game, Westbrook, when guarded by Thompson, was only 2 for 8 from the field. So it's an effective counter for them if they go to that matchup.
He didn't seem that angry. Parang binigyan ng Happy Meal before the game.
Siguro he wasn't pushed to the ground that much compared to game 1. Baka yun.
Maybe. Okay, so now we've seen 2 games played. And this is where it gets interesting because all the more you'll see really the fine-tuned adjustments coming into Game 3 and Game 4, especially lipat ng bahayan. The Warriors are going to expect the Thunder to have, added momentum, confidence. 3-day break. That's interesting. Okay, 3-day break. Monday pang susunod na game nila. Curry had a bad fall. He was like, may bukol. Talaga ng bukol dito.
Mom tennis ball
So who does the rest work better for?
I think the rest works much better for the Warriors, given how banged up they are. So Curry, we know, is not 100%. He has this added injury. Draymond Green has been saying that he keeps injuring his ankle on and off siya. Bogut is also not 100%. So this will give them a lot of time to really recuperate from all those minor nagging injuries. Yung Thunder naman, coming home is always a good thing. And I can imagine players, especially the supporting cast, they just play better sa home court nila. So we will probably see the likes of Dion Waiters, Randy Foy. If things go as planned, they will probably have better games once they're in Oklahoma City.
And all they have to do is remind themselves, hey, we have home court advantage because we stole one from there.
Exactly.
Now we got
Nagawa na natin diba?
Yeah, exactly.
We were able to beat the defending champ. So now that we're on the home court, all the more dapat kaya natin.
Kind of similar to what they did against the Spurs, although they lost game 1 but won game 2.
Exactly.
So they go home with the advantage.
Right.
If you're Coach Billy Donovan, how do you address this team right now? How do you try to pick them up again? Or has he built them up enough so well this season? These are pros, they know what to do, they're ready to come bounce back.
I think siguro he just reminds them about 2 things. Number 1, in game 1, they won offensive rebounds, which led to them winning second chance points by a lot.
The game of the Warriors.
This game, it was the Warriors na nag-dominate sa glass. And the second thing, turnovers in game 1, medyo patas sila. And this time, the Thunder had 4 more turnovers, and it led to a huge difference in turnover points. So those 2 things, yun naman talaga as a coach, diba? Execution.
Correct.
So I'm sure the Thunder, they know what to do. They just have to execute it better on the court.
A lot of people expect this series to go long, whether 6 or 7 games. And when it does, it's going to be interesting to see how he will adjust because he's playing the shorter lineup. He's playing 8-man short, as in yung 7th, 8th guy pa nga, parang 12, 15 minutes lang compared to the Warriors.
Especially if you look at it kanina, blowout yung game, but Kevin Durant still played something like 36 minutes of action in a blowout. And you compare that to Curry, he only played 30 minutes.
Correct.
So that huge difference could affect the Thunder players in the long run, and also in the fourth quarters. Siguro by then, if you're Kevin Durant and you're taking high volume of shots, by the fourth quarter you may not have your legs anymore.
So we'll see what's going to happen. Of course, we know obviously the Thunder can be great at home, but we also know the Warriors can win on the road as well. So this is going to be wild. As Adrian and I have agreed, this is going to be a long series, maybe 6, maybe 7 games. So, Aids, thanks so much. We'll see you again. Salamat.
For more sports updates, keep watching The Score. And don't forget to subscribe.